Well, it's happening so much now, it's becoming a common occurrence in New Zealand. Red carpet openings on streets all over the country. The River Queen, Whale Rider, King Kong. But it all started with the world premiere of Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. And the man that organised it all is joining us right now, Jamie Wilson. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Logistically, how tough is it? It was 250,000 people at Lord of the Rings.
Oh, that's right. There's been 3 Lord of the Rings premieres. Obviously, the first 2 were a little smaller, but then we came to the big one, which was my responsibility, which was Return of the King, and in end of 2003. A fairly stressful time, I might add, but at the same time, it was also a very joyous time just to see the turnout in Wellington. And in fact, I do know that some airlines put on a couple of extra flights for foreigners wanting to come in, particularly from Japan and America. So we had a massive international contingent as well. So it was, everyone was watching, not only Wellington, New Zealand, but the world, because it went out live. We fed it to satellite, and it pinged around the world. I happened to be in the UK about 4 or 5 days later, and I went to a magazine shelf and saw, you know, on the front cover, Lord of the Rings premiere, opened the magazine, then went to the next magazine, the next magazine, the next magazine. Every single one had photos and shots from it. So literally the whole world was watching.
Jamie, what's the hardest thing about putting on such a huge event?
I think it's trying to keep your head around the logistics, trying not to micromanage. You have to look at the bigger picture, what's going on. You've got so many people involved. I mean, on the Return of the King premiere, there was over 2,000 staff working that day to make the event happen. So you've got to think big, and then you put other people to worry about the minor details, because you've got to look at the whole broad brushstrokes. That's probably the biggest thing. You don't want to get too locked down in one thing, because while you're doing that, you're missing something else that's going on.
Yeah, I heard you're not the most fun person to be around when the event's on.
I'm not sure about that. I would definitely say I'm pretty focused at the time and quite critical. And yeah, I wouldn't invite. If I were you, I wouldn't invite me to any of your parties, because I'm not the best at guests.
I'll invite you to our party today.
I know. Well, I've got some comments about the lighting, a couple of props I'm not happy with, but you know, it'll be fine. We'll sort it out.
You must have had some funny stories that you can share with the people at home.
Well, there are classic moments. I remember when we doing the Lord of the Rings premiere. I remember when we first started and we were talking with the council, who are luckily in Wellington are a very wonderful group of people who try everything to try and make events happen. As we know, Wellington's a very vibrant capital, and we chatting to them and like, you know, we want to do this parade right through the city, and you know, there's big celebrities will be there. That's no problem, they said. It's good. We do this all the time. We have the Christmas parade. I went, oh great, so you're used to doing parades? And they went, oh yes, totally. We spray a blue line along the road either side, and everyone stands on that line and will not cross it. I went, excuse me? And they said, yes, no, everyone stays there. I went, fine, that's wonderful. You do realise there will be Liv Tyler, Orlando Bloom, Viggo Mortensen on the back of cars, you know, fans screaming, you know, so, oh, well, yeah, no, it'll be fine. No, we had to lay down barriers the entire length, so it was over 2 kilometres of barriers was laid right through the city, cutting in half. And I'm glad we did, because at points we had security holding the barriers up, just from the excitement of the crowd on the day. So the blue line would not have worked, I can guarantee you that.
That's funny. Now, you've done King Kong too. How do you compare that?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, King Kong's only just gone, obviously, just at Christmas just passed. That was a great event. Once again, Wellington turned out a good show. Everyone involved got fully behind it. Obviously, it's not quite to the same scale. We were talking a world premiere for Lord of the Rings. King Kong was a sort of Australasian premiere, so obviously it's a little smaller, but the turnout was magnificent. We had a good time. We did a great facade set on the front of the cinema, you know, the actual facade used in the movie, and we brought the plane in, hanging off the top there of a container, and also, obviously, we had taxis and blown-up vehicles and army guys and smoke when it all came out, just like Kong had escaped from the cinema. So, yeah, and it was a good set was there, so it was a good look.
You're passionate, aren't you?
I'm very passionate.
Passionate, perfectionist. What about the Oscars? Would you like to take over the Oscars?
I don't know. I mean, God, I don't know how any person can cope with that many limousines and so many drama queens. But I would say if somebody gave me the option, I'd definitely have a go at it. But I would, yeah, I would say I'd be pretty awful to work around at that time. That must be one of the most stressful events. You know, it's Prada shoes at dawn, I think, at that event. So.
What's next for you?
I just obviously carry on. My biggest work is at Weta Workshop, which is where I spend most of my time, and that's a great place to work, doing all their logistics and organising all their on-set crews and working on the movies. And then in between times, when I can, I get out and do my events. So that's lucky. I get to do premieres, but I do other events for corporate people and private parties and stuff as well. So it's good. It works both ways.
So how did it all begin? When did it all begin for you?
I stupidly left school at 18 and decided that I could organise a few parties. So I left and gave it up, going to university, and just set up my company and went from there. So I've been doing this for a fair few years. Started in the UK, and I've been in New Zealand since October 99. So yeah, I've been here a few years now. So.
Jamie, it's a lot of fun for you, isn't it?
I definitely say every day is different. It's either a different event or it's different people, so it's always good.
So you talk about the logistics of all the people that help you out with the events. The communication must be tough while the event's actually going on.
Oh, totally. I mean, it's not, don't get me wrong, this is not a one-man show. I don't go out there and put everything out and do everything myself. There's a whole team, through from councils to sub-suppliers to sponsors to the studio to their distributors. It's a whole lot working together to do this. So it's very important that we all communicate. And that starts off from the very early level with meetings and discussing it all, working it through, setting up an email chain, which is the new buzzword, so everyone knows what's going on, right down to on the day. And then you basically have a 16-way channel. You have a command center that has somebody in that's the radio operator, and everyone feeds into that. And obviously on the day, we have to then include things like the emergency services, the police, security teams. Everyone else has to be there, so they're all in that comm center, so they can all hear what's going on. They all work on their own channels on the radio, because it would just be too much chatter, but then they can all interlink. So we have, you know, an emergency channel or whatever, so we can switch to and we can all talk together. But everyone's hearing what everything's going on. That's the only way you can do it.
Like I'm hearing right now. But the first question I want to ask you, who's going to win Best Movie?
Oh, crumbs.
Come on.
I think I might say, I'm hoping, is Crash up for it? I think
Yes.
Yeah, I would go Crash.
Best Actor? I love putting you on the spot. I'm putting you on the spot. You should be able to work under pressure.
I would say, crumbs. Who's going to be up for that one? I don't know. I don't know.
Joaquin Phoenix, Walk the Line?
Yeah, that was good. And he did have to trim his hair to do the job, so I reckon it's worth it.
Actress? You're just happy whoever wins it, aren't you?
Well, the problem is, you see, none of them are from here, so I can't,
Yeah,
you
well,
know.
I'm just thought I'd put you on the spot.
No,
anyway.
sorry. But you know we're going to win all the technical awards,
We
though.
will, Jamie.
We're going to clean sweep.
Absolute pleasure having you on the show, my
Thank you
friend.
very much.
I look forward to being invited to your events, actually, but I won't be talking to you.
No, don't let me come to your event either.
Over to you, Sarah.